Hello good people of YouTube, and welcome to my hobby channel. In this video I just wanted to do a quick hobby update whilst I continue with my recovery. To start with, on the painting table I've got the first production model of Baldwin, the first resin to come off the pipeline, and the 7 heads. These are being painted for a friend of mine in America. Now I've zenithal primed this model, and I will be doing a separate video just covering the basics as I paint this. I'm not quite up to sitting down and taking on this bad boy at the moment, but hopefully by the end of the week I will be painting this version of Baldwin the Pious with the different heads, including the Marauder tribute, and I will be painting him in the style of this Marauder giant here, with the bright clothing and the lots of sort of heraldry patterns and everything. Next to him we've got the original prototype of Baldwin, which was the resin giant that I sculpted initially as a one-off for my Bretonian army project. He still needs a little bit of detail adding. But that's what's on the painting desk. If you've watched my 2 previous videos, you will know that I've been dusting off my Chaos army, my Warriors of Chaos for Warhammer the Old World, and I've been looking through my boxes of old models, and I've stumbled across some Citadel Beastmen, the really old ones, where they all had different heads, and some were, you know, based on snakes, and others were based on birds. Some were based on, I don't know, wolves or bears, or just various beasts, and they all look very different. And I'm about to dust those off, tidy them up and base them, but at the same time I just wanted to pull out my Frostgrave Knolls, because I am thinking that maybe these would make good proxy ungors. I think it's ungors for a Beastman army. So that is something that I will be looking at in the not too distant future. And it was whilst I was looking through my old metals that I stumbled across this collection of samurai or Oriental heroes. I think most of them came out of one of the Oriental Hero boxes that I had when I was a teenager. And that was one of the boxes like this. I think this is Brian Ansell's Adventurers, this one. And they are still sort of loose in their plastic tray, so I'm not going to be flipping this around. But the Oriental Heroes that I had did come in a box like this. Unfortunately, I no longer have the box for them, although, as I said, this is a similar example. And when I did dig these out, most of them had broken weapons, unfortunately, which I have been in the process of repairing. I've had to sort of glue and fill cracks with, I've used a mix of brown stuff and milliput, no green stuff in there at all. Green stuff is flexible, brown stuff is more brittle, and milliput is like clay, sets like concrete. So I'm trying to repair those. And it's just a case of gluing and filling the cracks, and then using a scalpel to kind of file down and carve back into shape. There's still a bit of a crack there to fill in. There's this one as well that had broken. Same thing applies there. And I was doing the same around the hilt of a lot of these swords, the katanas. A lot of them were twisted and bent and almost snapped off. Some had snapped off completely, and again I'm just kind of reworking those to hide the repair. And then here I've got 3 where I've had to completely replace the katanas, and these are ready now to be filed into the shape that I want. So I just wanted to show you before I actually go ahead and do that. That I've created the basic shape. There's a wire rod down the middle that's quite thin, and now that will just be carved and sanded into shape before I prime and paint it. I'm halfway through fixing the bow on this one. Both the ends were missing, so I've replaced those with wire, super glued them into the holes that I've drilled, And if anyone saw my previous video where I was looking at archers, both Empire archers and Bretonnian archers, you'll remember that I repaired that plastic model there. So it's the same principle. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just repairing this group of Oriental Heroes here and getting them primed and ready to paint. Now I've also discovered these two models as well with, I think it's DM underneath. Now I don't know if that's Denizen Miniatures, but I've got two that are identical. So I'll be painting those to fit in with this army. And one of the reasons why I'm dusting these off now is because I've just acquired some ninja models from a friend of mine, the old Citadel ninjas. I'm hoping to receive those in the post soon. So whilst I was looking for Chaos Beastmen and I stumbled across these, I thought, well, I'll just get all this stuff tidied up. I'll get them on bases. I can stack them neatly then on the shelves and have them waiting to be painted, and know that they're not deteriorating or getting damaged in the bottom of any bits box. So while I've got the camera out, I just thought I'd film a little bit of this restoration. I've got some putty here that I mixed a while ago, maybe 15 minutes. So it's starting to firm up, but that's okay. I just want to show you how I go about trying to repair something like a bow, or even sculpting one if I'm doing it from scratch. But I'm just pressing the putty around the wire till it's the thickness that I want. Pull the extra off the end that I don't need. Hopefully you can see this. Then I often keep a wet sponge in a watertight container that I can just squeeze to wet my sculpting tools or my fingers, and then I can come in and smooth the putty with wet fingers into the basic shape that I want. Just come in with a sculpting tool and do a bit more. I'm not worried too much at this stage. I just want to get the shape, make sure I blend it into the metal and get the shape as I want it, because once it's dry I can come in with a scalpel and a file and shape it the way I want it. So I smooth off the surfaces and everything when it's dry, and that's why I don't use green stuff, because when green stuff is dry, if you try to shape it, it has a tendency to want to tear, whereas milliput and brown stuff are quite hard. When they dry, they're not flexible, and you can file them and cut them and carve them. I'm going to leave that to dry now, and then hopefully what I can show you just very quickly here is when the putty is dry, you can then start to carve it. You can file it with a nail file or an emery board or a metal file. You can scrape it with a scalpel blade like this. You can cut into it and carve. So that's the principle. So I'm going to take these downstairs, sit somewhere comfortable, shape the katana blade, on each one and come back when I've finished. Okay, so I was hoping to finish off this video with a roll call now that I have cleaned up the repaired weapons on these Oriental Heroes. So this is the first one. Kato Kiyomasa, I think. Now I've got two of these that were produced at different times. That's why one is slightly shinier than the other. I know the composition of metals did change over the years as the lead content was lowered for various reasons, including health concerns. Occasionally it tends to cause people to worry whether or not they've got a recast, but these are both original models that I've had for decades, just acquired at different times. So that's the first one, Kato Kiyomasa. The next Oriental Hero, as I said, I've been repairing these, so I'll tidy that up before I prime it white. But this is Shinozuka Iga no Kami. Apologies if I'm butchering the Japanese language here, but that's the second one out of the Oriental Heroes box set, the Ferocious Samurai Warriors. And then the third figure is this one. Again, slight repair there, which I've filed. And this is Hachima Taro Yoshi Ai. Fourth miniature, Maeda Toshai. That's Maeda Toshai. And then here you can see I've filed down the katana there. Now I'm not too bothered about it being pristine and perfect. The edges are crisp. It's a little bit wobbly in places, but that kind of reflects the condition of the swords on those models that I haven't had to repair. So I've done that repair so that it will fit in and it looks like a genuine metal casting there. And this guy is Inukai Kenpachi, and that's model number 5 from the Oriental Heroes. And then this one, which I think is actually female, I'm not entirely sure, but I've seen this painted up with like a geisha mask on it, so maybe I'm just getting confused, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to painting that one. And that is Shidizuka Gozen. Right, so this is number 7. Again, bit of a repair job there. Reattaching the top of that bow. And this is Yorimasa. And actually, I think this is one of my favourite miniatures from this set, simply because the bow is just so huge. And I've seen this painted up as sort of bamboo. Whether that's accurate or not, I don't know, but it did look good. Model number 8 from the Oriental Heroes. This is a mouthful, this one. Kajiwara Genda Ragesui, or something. And here we have model number 9. Sasaki Gun Ryu. And again, I'm looking forward to painting these. Okay, this is model number 10. I think that's Tomori. Yeah, I think that's Tomori, that one. And again, I had to do a little repair with some super glue. I'll file that smooth before I paint it. It was just filling a crack with super glue before that got any worse. Model number 11. Date Masamune. And again, I've had to replace his sword. You can see the wire that I've got in there. Maybe on that side as well, but I've filed that down now and kept the shape reasonably in line again with what the metal castings look like after 4 decades of wear and tear. And then the final miniature from the Oriental Heroes box is a real mouthful, and I may not actually get my tongue around all of this. Tanabe Meihachiro Nagatame. Again, apologies if I've butchered any of these. That was the Oriental Heroes box set. Now I have this one as well, which isn't part of the box set, but was obviously produced around about the same time. And I don't know what this is. Daimyo. So anyway, he obviously looks like some serious kind of leader or hero figure with all those feathers. And the last one, which I showed earlier, that's the repair that still isn't dry yet, so I haven't had a chance to file down the bow there. And that, I think, is just advancing with bow. So that is my complete Oriental Heroes box set being restored with 2 extra figures. So a lot of these are still available as ex-Citadel miniatures from the Wargames Foundry website. You don't actually need to pay silly eBay prices. It's just I happen to have these slowly falling apart as they got moved from pillar to post and bent and broke. So now I've got these on 20mm slot bases. I am going to paint these up so I can use them in my historical war games, and also hopefully maybe as a Cathay or something in Warhammer the Old World, or even an element to my Dogs of War army. So there's lots of potential there. I will be doing another video on these guys once I get the ninjas, the Citadel ninja figures that I've acquired off a friend of mine. Hopefully that won't be too long. And the only other 2 miniatures that I need to identify are these here, which are both the same miniature, but I'll probably paint them up differently so that I can use them in the same army. That's it for this hobby update. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please smash that like button. Please subscribe for more videos like this, and please check out my other videos because I'm always adding content to them. Thanks again for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.